Hey, you guys. Um, this is IYRE. Apologies on my behalf. It took quite some time for me to do the second commentary for Raindrops on My Skin and Glowing Embers, which was released on Pilot about a couple of months back, I'm assuming, or even more. I don't know. I lost track. I've been a little bit busy with work, obviously. It has been the budget months, and it has been a little bit hectic in terms of managing work and music together, but also been busy making a few tunes, a lot of collabs to be excited about for next year. Finished a few tracks with a few of my friends, which I'm very excited about as well. So yeah, and a few exciting projects have come my way as well, and I'm working on them as we speak. So it's going to be pretty exciting to close 2021 and focus on 2022 with new music and with more exciting projects. So yeah, I'm here to talk about these two tracks that I released with Pilot, Raindrops and Glowing Embers. Yeah, so first of all, maybe to look at Raindrops. Raindrops was a track that was produced with the intention of trying out my end to trying out my ability to maybe to follow someone like Caliber. I don't know. I was mesmerized by his sampling technique, so I just wanted to see if I can maybe to come up with something similar. It doesn't even sound Caliber-like, but I was fortunate enough to put my own spin to it and make it sound much more IYRE-like. Um, and the song wasn't necessarily focused on rain per se in the beginning. It was just a chord progression, and when the chord progression came together, I introduced a melody, and the melody kind of depicted towards the raindrops. So I decided to make the song in that theme, which was very interesting. If you go towards the first drop of the song, it's basically the basic chord progression being repeated with the main melody being introduced towards the second phrase, and obviously on the fourth phrase, it's more of an elongation of the second phrase. Um, and in between, I managed to introduce a few Indian and South Asian elements to it as well. There's a few sitar sounds, a little bit of Indian ambience being used, a bit of sitar-based ambience being introduced in the beginning, as well as towards the breakdown and towards the end of the track as well. Um, and I was also inspired by Colonial Cousins. There's a song by Colonial Cousins called Indian Rain, which I think is one of the most amazing tracks out there from the region. There's authenticity to that feel, so I wanted to see if I can portray something similar in terms of the feel that I wanted to provide through that song. So I think I managed to do it. Not necessarily to the level of Colonial Cousins, but at least to my liking. So I think I managed to do it. I'm going to stick a link to that song in the description. If you guys haven't checked it, you should definitely check it out. It's a fusion song as well. It's sung in English, and there's plenty of ad-libs going on in Hindi and the Eastern South Asian ragas and all that. It's a mesmerizing track, so you should definitely check it out. And in terms of speaking about rain, to be honest, it's raining quite right in here in Sri Lanka as well. We are in the rainy season. It's pretty cold as well, but I should let you guys know that the way rain is perceived in artistic form in South Asia is quite different to how it's being perceived in other countries. In most of the countries, rain is seen something as aggressive and something that is not welcome. but in this region, in this part of the world, rain is something very mystic. Rain has feel to it, and even when it's raining, it's quite beautiful to see. It's a nice occurrence in this region. So I guess you guys need to actually experience what I'm talking about. But so I wanted to capture that feeling, the subtle feel of raindrops falling on my skin. So I came across the vocal sample on Splice as well. To my luck, which I got to know that has been rinsed out pretty much. But then again, it complemented perfectly to the vocal, so I decided to keep it anyway. So that's how Raindrops came to life. Going to stick some links on the description if you want to catch it, by the way, as well. And in terms of Blowing Embers, again wanted to see how I can copy Caliber. Didn't end up being a Caliber song whatsoever. Was fortunate again enough to put an ID touch on it. I think my bass has pretty much do that for me, so I was pretty fortunate. But in this song, I tried to introduce additional harmonics to the mid basses, as you clearly can hear. There's a lot of distortion moving around, providing more movement to the basses, which I wanted to see if I can do. And the track speaks itself in terms of how it sounds. So I'm not going to talk much on that. But with regards to the sounds that I've used, most were focused around synths, I would say, and there's a main piano obviously being used in the song as well. The main piano sample that you hear. So the song, the structure of the song was basically arranged based on those piano loops that I've used, and I've introduced a lot of playing on my own as well for the track. In terms of fillers, there's a lot of reverse pianos being used as well. So basically in this track, the piano is kind of like the main driving force in this song. So it was a fun track to finish as well. I'm also inspired by artists like Mohican Sun, artificial intelligence, and so on. So there's a lot of influence in this song, definitely, as well. And I kept the breakdown to a minimum in this song because I wanted to keep that momentum throughout the song. If I made an elongated breakdown, felt as if the momentum could die down a little bit, which I didn't want to. So I decided to keep that momentum throughout the song, which was again successful to my liking. And the song talks about some of my camping experience, which I miss mostly these days due to COVID, and I've not been able to travel around as much as I would like to. So I decided to venture that path by reminiscing some of the experiences that I had in terms of traveling around, camping, obviously, which is also why I named the track "Glowing Embers," because it kind of visualized a place where people camp and there's a fire going on. And also, by the way, the same thing is being used on the album art as well. Huge shouts to my brother Ravi. He's one of the most prominent graphic artists in the country. So it was basically his idea to create this vision that you see on the album art. So props to Ravi as well. And of course, gotta thank Luke and Sampo for the continuous support. So they've been amazing to me ever since I released fragments, and this opportunity presented itself for me to release a couple of tracks with Pilot, and I'm really happy with the outcome, and obviously have plans to work with them in the future as well. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity that they provided me. So yeah, that's about it. That's how That's how Raindrops and Glowing Embers came to life. I'm planning to do a few track breakdowns as well in the future, but before that, I have another plan that I need to roll out pretty soon, which I'm going to talk to you about in the next video. So till then, I guess it's goodbye from me. So I hope I'll be able to speak to you guys sooner than later. But yeah, so thank you so much for checking this video out, and hopefully to do more in the future. And a special announcement would be in order as well. So stay tuned for that. And thank you so much. Peace.